Hi, everybody. It's meteorologist Joe Chaffee, SNS Storm Chasers. Always looking around to see whether we're going to get any thunderstorms and the threat for severe weather. And we can tell you that there really is no threat for anything of consequence over the next couple of days. We've got high pressure that's moving off the Jersey coast, and you can see it there. And the wind today turns westerly and then a little more southerly over time. Now, when you look out to our west, there's a long southwest flow that runs from Texas all the way up into New England that sets up, and that gradually works its way to the coast. So that's bringing in more humid air. And there's a bit of a warm front that sets up to our south tomorrow, and you can kind of pick it out here. It's not anything substantial, but it's enough that it's producing some showers and storms tomorrow afternoon across Maryland and parts of Delaware and into eastern Virginia. And that'll be moving away to the northeast and coming in to the New Jersey, New York, southern New England area during Wednesday night with maybe a shower or thunderstorm. And then it's very warm and humid on Thursday. And there are two weather systems here at play, a lead one and then the second one behind it. And the one behind it has some slightly drier air. So when that front comes through, there might be some showers or a thunderstorm with that, but it doesn't look like anything too outrageous. And then that goes by, and actually Friday may turn out to be a rather hot day across much of the northeast and northern mid-Atlantic states as the dew points, the measure of moisture in the air drops, and we have a northwest wind. So I think we could see temperatures up into the 90s, but it'll be a dry heat. I almost hate to say that, but it'll be a dry heat. And then as we go into the weekend, a little bit of uncertainty because that front sort of gets hung up, and there's some tropical moisture out to the west-southwest in the Tennessee and lower Ohio Valley that tries to come eastward on Saturday and brings in a period of showers, and then that moves out. But there's still some semblance of a front hanging around on Sunday, so it kind of makes the weekend forecast a bit tougher here going forward. And as we move ahead into next week, models are showing a couple of weather systems coming through, almost a sort of a repeat of what we just went through in a sense. So I'm not looking for any especially hot weather to occur through the end of next week. Now, when we go beyond this period, and I'm going to change over to the upper air view here. Let me just switch it up just a little bit. We'll put a full U.S. view, and we'll put the upper air winds, the upper air flow. And when we go into after day, first of all, I just want to show you there's still troughing going on in the eastern states. The trough axis is fairly far to the east, but it's close enough to where the coast is getting impacted by it. And we have this big upper high that's building in the middle of the country, a big heat ridge that kind of noses up into the Great Lakes as we move through days 10 through 16. Now, if this occurs, this would make it pretty hot around here for the weekend as we get toward the end of next week and into the weekend that follows. But there's still a semblance of troughing that develops here. So as we go into the last week of July, so we're going to have to watch to see how that plays as we start going forward. You know, the models have been doing these heat ridges on and off for the last month and a half, and they all have not really come to fruition because of the fact that this northern jet has remained rather strong and active. Now, it looks like there's a little more credibility in this run to allow for a period of heat in the east lasting more than a day or two. This would last maybe 3 or 4 days before another cold front comes on through. But also, when you have a setup like this, a lot's going to depend on what the actual surface looks like, because you can always have some kind of a little high to the north and maybe a bit of a backdoor front. So overall, the weather looks rather uneventful. I don't see anything outrageous or anything of consequence to worry about over the next 10 days or so. Of course, when we get toward the end of July, I'm expecting that the tropics will pick up, and just want to do a quick view of the upper air winds in the tropics because we pointed this out in our tropical video that we did a couple of days ago. And if you haven't looked at it, you really should, because it does show a big difference in how the upper air is setting up in the tropics this year versus last year. And I'm just going to roll it back and focus on the large area of blue and white. This is showing wind shear, strong winds in the upper layers of the atmosphere, which prevents tropical storm development. And if you do have a tropical system that moves into strong wind shear, they tend to get ripped apart. And we continue to see in the tropics large area of light wind shear. And in fact, we can pick out a tropical system on this particular run that develops just east of the Leeward Islands. You can see it here, east of the Windward Islands, and then moves into the Caribbean and makes its way across the Caribbean and eventually into the Gulf of Mexico as we move into the latter part of the period. Now, whether that's real or not, I don't know, but we do seem to have large areas of light wind shear to work with. So I think this affords more favorable conditions for tropical storm development as we head into the peak months. So have a great day and enjoy it. Enjoy the beautiful blue skies and sunshine while they last before the humidity comes back.